President Cyril Ramaphosa's office says he postponed his cabinet reshuffle announcement to tonight due to poor health. He's expected to fill the vacancy of Deputy President and name the new Minister of Electricity as well, among a number of others. Ramaphosa will now address the nation at 7 p.m. this evening. In fact, Vincent Magwenya, the President's spokesperson, yesterday saying that there was actually no date set for that cabinet reshuffle announcement to be made, that this was a drama concocted by the media. Well, let's unpack this further. We're joined by a political analyst, Dr. John Molepo, joins us via our video link this morning. Dr. Molepo, it's great to see you. Thanks very much indeed. It's probably one of those stories where we've been building up to it, haven't we? We said before the State of the Nation address that perhaps the President would reshuffle his cabinet before SONA. It didn't happen. We then said perhaps before the Finance Minister took to the podium. We know that didn't happen either. Has there been a delay, or is it all just concocted?
Well, I think the most important thing that we as the society need to understand and accept that this is the President's prerogative, that he can appoint at any time. So I think this anticipation was created by the fact that during his State of the Nation address, the President elucidated that he's going to appoint a Minister of Electricity, maybe to try and deal with issues of load shedding. So as South Africans, they regard load shedding as something that affects them on day-to-day basis. I think this is where the creation or the expectation came in, because the President said he's going to appoint the Minister of Electricity. Therefore, they thought that the President will expedite and appoint immediately, because this is a crisis that affects the society at large. So I think the President created this thing indirectly. That's why people were expecting him to appoint as soon as possible, though he is within his right to appoint at any time like he wishes.
Yeah, we know it's the President's prerogative to reshuffle his cabinet and to make this announcement at a time that he sees fit. And then there's, of course, the issue of reading the room, right? Responding to the moment that we're in, insofar as, and load shedding is just one of the challenges facing our country. We've also seen the announcement around the employment numbers, for example. Is the President doing that? Is he responding to the moment that South Africa finds itself in?
But I think it doesn't come as a surprise. We are dealing with a president who's always been taking time to take decisions. That's why others will label him as a very incisive, because it takes time. So, but I think his taking time will really mean that he was consulting with the alliances, also the ANC, and also checking the balance of forces. But the society is expecting him to take a decision. And this has been the case in his administration, that it takes time to take a decision. And the time it takes a decision, a mess could have long been created. So South Africans are expecting him to take a decision. But also timing, like you said, is very important to take time. But obviously, if we were to check this reshuffling, it might be the last reshuffling of the President, because if he makes a mistake or he deploys people who are incapable, who are unable to deliver, it might be the last time we see the ANC governing this particular country. So therefore, it's important for him to be able to consult, not to patch others, not to try to fight with the other factions in the ANC. So he's trying to look into all these possibilities so that he can be able to govern very well until 2024. But failure to do this thing, he might see himself and the ANC outside of politics as the opposition. So therefore, it's important for him to be able to appoint those people with skills and competencies.
Dr. Molepo, the President announced during his State of the Nation address that he'd be appointing this Minister of Electricity, right? It was meant to be in response to the crisis that we're in insofar as load shedding is concerned. It's now been almost 30 days since he made that announcement, with still no electricity minister. How much of a crisis does the President think load shedding is?
Like I said, it's surprising that the load shedding really affects all of us in this society. And we have a president who hasn't taken any decision That's why most, like I said, they label him as one of those people who are very indecisive and who takes time to take a decision. And this, some might view that he doesn't take this thing of load shedding seriously. But I think also he's trying also to look into and tap into those who have necessarily skill. And I think we might see a possible change because we have noticed that there has been Enoch Godongwan, who has been a minister without being a member of parliament. Perhaps maybe the time he was elected as the member of parliament, I think maybe perhaps it's high time the president will want to bring a person who's not a member of parliament, who has skills, who have qualification to lead this particular minister. So therefore, that's what I'm just saying, that his taking time might be the possibility of him trying to look into those who are best, but he's always taking time. It's something that I think the president must look into, because South Africans are eager and they want a person to take a decision, particularly in everything that they affect them. But also, you will notice that there's been a crisis about load shedding. The president used to cancel his trips, the overseas trips, but there's nothing tangible that has came to this end. So it's important that the president takes that particular decision today, and when he takes that, he must make sure that he appoints those with skills, qualification, and competencies, because we've been waiting, and we don't want any person to be appointed with any scandal, because currently South Africans are eager for good things.
Yeah, so it's the electricity minister that we've been discussing. It's, of course, the transport minister, Fikile Mbalula, going into his permanent job at Luthuli House as Secretary General. There's the deputy president. There's also the resignation of Ayanda Dlodlo, who was the minister of Public Service and Administration. We wait with bated breath to hear what the president has to say at 7 o'clock this evening. For now, political analyst Dr. John Molepo, thanks very much indeed for joining us. 6:52 on this Monday morning. Let's take you over to Ayanda now for a sense of what's happening on the continent.